Yesterday, we celebrated mothers everywhere, but today we are going to talk about parenthood, motherhood and happiness, specifically a viral claim by one of the world's most popular singers right now, Chappell Roan, that, quote, "All of my friends who have kids are in hell," close quote. Is motherhood really hell on earth, or is there something deeper going on? This is the Happy Families podcast, real parenting solutions every day on Australia's most downloaded parenting podcast. We are Justin and Kylie Coulson. Kylie, here's the actual quote.
All of my friends who have kids are in hell. I actually don't know anyone who's happy and has children at this age. I have 1-year-old, 3-year-old, 4 and under, 5 and under. I literally have not met anyone who's happy, anyone who has light in their eyes, anyone who has slept.
Oh, it was Mother's Day yesterday, Kylie. Talk about motherhood, honey. Do you feel like you're in hell? I mean, 6 kids. Am I right?
It depends what day.
Okay. So maybe Chappell Roan has a kernel of truth here.
I think that if we are having children because we think they're going to make us happy.
Oh, no.
That's the wrong reason.
Yeah.
I think about that moment that I became a mum so many times and the indescribable joy I felt after going through the most excruciating pain of my life is so hard to articulate. And going back 5 more times and going through the same process each time and wondering, what the heck am I doing here again? And yet meeting that little human being for the very first time and knowing that they not only were a part of me, but that I created this is so profoundly impactful in every conceivable way. And the joy that I experience sometimes because of how hard it is, literally because of how hard it is. I can't imagine doing life without them.
I love the way that you articulate that as a dad, being in the labour room with you and going through that. Some of the most profound experiences, literally the most profound experiences of my life have been supporting you as you've laboured to bring our children into the world. When I think about this quote, this thing that she said, opinions are a lot like social media accounts, right? Everyone has one or a podcast, and the loudest ones, quite honestly, rarely have the credentials to back them up. So here we have somebody who is saying, no, I'm not a parent myself, don't really know, but from what I'm seeing, it must be hell. And it just, I don't know. So what I thought we would do today, you bring all the heart and you already have, and we're going to come back to that shortly, but because of my PhD in psychology, I can't help but look at data. That's where I go. And I think that there's value in having a look at whether or not the data backs her up. Then we'll talk about the experience a bit more. So first point that I I need to make, and that is that there is a happiness gap. The data contradicts the narrative that Chappell Roan is pushing. We don't have Aussie data on this because in Australia we just don't collect that much high quality data compared to in the US. They collect it all the time, all over the place. But US data finds that 21% of married mums report being very happy. Okay, so that's a pretty low percentage. Only 1 in 5 say, yes, I'm very happy, versus just 10% of unmarried childless women. So that's still twice as many. It is a low percentage, but it's twice as many. And here's the demographic that Chappell Roan represents. This is the one that I'm most interested in. So we've got unmarried childless women. They report the highest levels of unhappiness at 44%, saying they are, quote unquote, not too happy. And if we dig a little deeper into the data, married parents have a significant happiness advantage. 37% of them, so about 2 in 5, say that they are, quote, very happy, compared to unmarried parents who only 16% of them say that they are, quote, very happy. So again, looking at single parenting, I guess, and doing it on your own versus having the additional support, it makes sense that would be the case. It just makes sense.
And the biggest challenge is in life, we don't get to just be parents. There are so many other facets to our lives. It's not like we live in this little bubble and we get to just parent our children without any other influence, without any other stress point, without any other impact to our daily happiness.
Sure.
So at any given point, we can blame it on the kids, but we're stressed about finances. We're stressed about money. Our relationship with our partner might not be strong.
Need a new car.
We need a new car. We've got extended family troubles. We've got friendship issues. Like, there is always something going on. There's illness. There's so many things that impact our happiness. And yet, more times than not, we'll blame it on the kids.
Right. So after the break, I want to talk about why this perception exists, where it's going wrong, and how we can reframe the conversation. I think one of the biggest misunderstandings around happiness in kids is that because it's hard work, people think that it must therefore not be good. It must therefore be hard and horrible and misery, and why would you do it? So we've got this cultural obsession with convenience and independence and effortlessness.
And ease.
I want this business class comfort armchair ride on a cloud through life.
It does sound kind of nice.
Well, we were on a holiday recently, and we bumped into this guy from French Polynesia, 34 years old, living the dream, right? No kids, no relationships to sort of tie him down, hold him down, and he's just living his best life ever. And that's the world in which we find ourselves. And when we were talking to him about having 6 kids, we were like, yeah, it is harder. It's harder to go on a holiday with the kids, but it's also more meaningful. And the point that I really want to emphasize here is that mums and dads, parents generally, may find greater happiness precisely because it's hard. In other words, the things that should make you miserable because you are waking up in the middle of the night to change your wet bed, or because you've got a child who is dealing with a really big social challenge or going through some sort of neurodevelopmental difficulty, that stuff's hard and it is supposed to make you miserable. And then you have these moments. You just have these incredible moments where you go, I am so happy right now because of the love that I have for this child. And I think we need to reframe the conversation. These discussions, like Chappell Roan's, they kind of pit parents against non-parents, and they also re-emphasize this convenient, easy lifestyle. But what you and I have discovered, like as we talk about those years where I was a full-time student, we were trying to pay a mortgage, we had 5 kids, we were living on absolutely nothing, and we had all sorts of challenges and difficulties that we were going through. They are the things, that's what bonded us. Like, it's the deep bonds, it's the commitment, the sacrifice that creates the happy relationship. But you might not get it all right this very second, but over time it becomes profound. I think we're measuring happiness the wrong way. Like, happiness has been shown to decline with parenthood since the late 1970s, early 1980s, since Sarah McClanahan at Columbia University did her seminal work in this area. But I've got several books on my shelves by people like Roy Baumeister and Paul Bloom, some of the world's leading academics. And they say something like this: parenthood is more than a cost-benefit analysis. And happiness is found not in the ease or convenience of child rearing, but in the meaning and satisfaction it brings to life.
I think about the most meaningful experiences I've had outside of my role as a parent. They haven't been the administrative roles that I have dealt with. They have been the hands-on, grassroots, helping people.
Face-to-face, as people go through hard things, right?
And seeing the light in their eyes as they have that aha moment and learn and grow and move through life in better ways, making better choices, right? So as a parent, I have the opportunity to be literally at the grassroots of this little human being that over time grows and develops and becomes their own person. And I get to be a part of that. I get a front row seat of seeing them grow and have that light come into their eyes when they have those aha moments. You know, the first time they learn how to tie their shoelace, or the first time they do a poo in the potty, like the joy that they have.
I love how excited you are about that.
We might have a toddler going through that right now. There is just so much joy when they work something out. Our granddaughter right now is learning how to match, and we're playing memory with her. And she's just so alive as she learns these skills. And the joy in her face just brings so much joy to me.
So what you're really saying is, Chappell Roan, you're wrong, 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 you're wrong. Motherhood is amazing. I'm sorry. I get so annoyed when people make these blanket statements, and it's like, people will often say to me, because I'm out doing talks and what have you, they'll say, 6 daughters, oh, you poor thing. You poor thing. I'm like, you have no idea. Yeah, I mean, financially, yeah, it's come at a great cost financially. I think that we would live in a very different house and have a lot more money if we had not had 6 children. I'm not going to lie about that.
And probably a lot less stress.
Better holidays, the whole lot. But that's not what makes us happy, truly. Life is about relationships. Relationships at the heart of well-being. And my life, and I say this every time they say, you poor thing, I'm like, no, I'm so rich. I'm so rich. Life is so rich because every time I look at one of these kids and I smile and say, I love you so much, or they come and give me a hug because I come in the door and I haven't been home for 3 days because I've been off making other people's families happy or whatever. And I just think that's what it's about. Like, I would take 6 daughters every day, 100% over any other alternative. I just live for it and I love it, and it makes life rich. I just made it all about me. It's a Mother's Day review from yesterday. So how do you wrap this up, Kylie? I'm not going to have the last word on this podcast, but we need to close. How do you wrap this up in terms of Chappell Roan and what she said about no light being in the eyes of every parent she knows raising young children?
In a world that is very much about me, it's so easy to see how, having not experienced the joy that comes from actually, number one, creating a human being, and number two, seeing the light in their eyes as they come into their own and understand and grow. But secondly, recognizing that ease over time actually doesn't bring us the kind of happiness and sense of purpose that challenges do. When our children were young, we set a mantra for our year: I can do hard things. And we climbed up Mount Kosciuszko with 4 children. Our eldest at the time was 8.
Yeah,
You had an 18-month-old on your back.
And I carried the 3-year-old or 4-year-old or whatever it was on my front.
And it was 1 degree on the summit that day. And it was a really hard thing. We had to work at that. We had to plan. We had to practice with these kids, helping them to, do a 5K walk on a regular basis so they didn't flake when we were walking to that summit. And that day still is emblazoned in my memory with those kids doing the Toyota jump for joy when they reached the summit.
# not sponsored.
It was just this amazing moment. For them, they did something hard.
So
it made all the difference.
There's a popular influencer on Instagram, Tessa Smith, and she posted a series of images with her young child on Insta. And the caption was just this: Dear Chappell Roan, I've never had more light in my eyes.
Oh.
Well said. The Happy Families podcast is produced by Justin Rulon from Bridge Media. More details for making your family happier and for more light in your life and in your eyes at happyfamilies.com.au.